Heydt. Heydt. So this is going to be another movie review. This one's called The Great McGinty. This is going to be another lamestream oldie film. I hate this flick. I'm giving it 1 out of 5 stars. Boo! This one's a real stinker. It gets a whopping. It gets a whopping 0.3 out of 10 on IMDb, 4,000 ratings. Extremely popular. That just shows how stupid people are. If it gets an Academy Award in 1940, it's stupid. 1940 political satire comedy. I didn't find it funny. Film written and directed by Preston Sturges. Don't know who he is. Don't care. But if you take a look at the sleeve, you'll see in here. Preston Sturges collection. Ooh, disc 1. Where's disc 2, Netflix? Hello, Netflix. Where are you? Anyways. It stars Brian Donlevy and Akeem Tamaroff. Don't know who that is. I know Brian Donlevy. He was in a couple of films. Sorry, it's been a crazy 3 days. Unbelievable. Friday was a turning point for me financially. While I was on my meal break at some Safeway in some town, I can't remember which town I was in, but anyways, I was buying stamps at Safeway on my meal break. I think I was in Kentfield or something. I lost reception. I couldn't punch out for my meal break and on my phone because there's no reception. So I had to do a time correction form. But I figure, okay, I got time to go to Safeway, which is like a mile away. Get some stamps. I can buy some Nacarta stock. I bought 633 shares of Nacarta on the dip, then went straight up, and I made $400 profit in one day. Then it might have been before or after that, I was feeling lucky that day. I don't know what happened, but my background check finally went through for the bus driver job. My first day is Monday. I had to scramble to get all this paperwork ready, my direct deposit form, my Department of Transportation physical exam, which I really struggled to get. I had to go get it on my lunch break, meal break yesterday, just because I happened to be in the neighborhood at the occupational care clinic. And my drug and alcohol testing notification form. That was the only thing I had. I got a 95 cents notebook for my training on Monday. I still have to buy black pants at Target because JCPenney won't be open after I drop him off, but Target will be. They better have my size. I don't want to wear my suit pants to 2 jobs, working 15 hours tomorrow. But I'm sorry to say that my income will go up back to normal the way it was in April, hopefully. A couple thousand every 2 weeks. after taxes. And I can start putting money in my Robinhood. I can pay all my bills. No problem. That's my goal. Starting next month. Starting tomorrow. Or starting today if it's Australia. Wait, I'm not in Australia. Never mind. All right. So, long story short, I'm going to be making more money, but I'll be doing less movie reviews. I'm going to have to watch them on my breaks like I did when I was working 4 jobs or whatever. All right. When I work 2 jobs, it's tough to watch movies, review them when all I want to do is take a little nappy poo. All right. So Brian Donlevy was a B leading man. He was in he was in Destiny Rides Again, and one more. Oh, I can't find it. Anyways. He was in a couple movies that I've reviewed. Brian Donlevy. I think he was uncredited in the World War II combat movie that I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, it features William Demarest and her final screen appearance, Muriel Angelist. I know William Demarest from The Big Sleep, I think. One of those movies. This is really testing my memory here. Anyways, it was Sturges' first film as a director. He sold the story to Paramount Pictures for just $10 on the condition he direct the film. Sturges received an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. Anything with an Oscar in 1940 gets an automatic 1 out of 5 stars. For the UK release, the film was retitled Down Went McGinty, alluding to the 1889 song. Dan McGinty, Brian Donlevy, is a bartender in a Banana Republic who recounts his rise and fall to the bar's dancing girl and a suicidal American customer. The customer was a trusted bank employee who could no longer return to the United States and his family because he's wanted by the law after falling to temptation and stealing from the bank. McGinty is in a similar situation, but in his case, it is due to one crazy minute of honesty rather than one of dishonesty. In a long flashback, he explains. All right. So that's what I have a problem with this movie. The idea that a corrupt man who's corrupt in the first place, and he's attracted to power like a magnet, and all of a sudden he wants to come clean by doing away with child labor and tenements and whatever his wife's social cause is. Annoying. And that gets him into hot water. Shows how stupid and improbable this movie is. It's a pure fiction, and it's hard to imagine that something like this could ever happen. Usually somebody who's corrupt stays corrupt. They they don't all of a sudden become social justice warrior under the guise of being honest. That just doesn't happen. Okay. Anybody who's a social justice warrior is a ninny to begin with. All right. McGinty's career begins when he is a tramp who offered a $2 bribe to vote under a false name in a rigged mayoral election. I think he voted like 36 times. No, 37. He does it 37 times at different precincts. Vote early and vote often. This impresses a local political boss, Akeem Tamaroff, whose name is never mentioned, although they sometimes almost come to blows with each other. McGinty becomes one of the boss's enforcers, then his political protege. Yeah, they're always getting into fistfights. Even this Akeem Tamaroff dude pulls a gun on him when he's governor. And he ends up going to jail. Okay. During a public campaign for political reform, the boss, who controls all the political parties in the city, that's hard to imagine, decides to have McGinty elected mayor as a reform candidate. I didn't know there was a reform party back in 1940. Oh, okay. Or whenever this film takes place, the 30s, I guess. He says a credible candidate must be married, but McGinty has no one he wants to marry. His secretary, Muriel Angelus, don't know who that is, then proposes a marriage of convenience, which he accepts. Yeah, they're married on paper, but they never see each other. All right. Elected mayor, he continues the political corruption established by the boss, rationalizing that the public still benefits from public works, no matter who bribes their way into profiting from them. So I guess you can hire any corrupt individual to waste other people's money, according to this film. But then he and his more idealistic wife, oh my God, scratch that, annoying wife, actually fall in love. He begins to take her views on public service seriously. Oh no, this is where the trouble starts. But he says he's not powerful enough to act against the boss in any case. But next, the boss decides McGinty should be governor of the state. And McGinty is duly elected. Now he feels he is powerful enough. And on his inauguration day, he tells the boss that they're through with each other. He's not going to waste money on public works projects. But he's going to clean up child labor and tenements. Sort of a mixed bag. Anyway, the boss says that if he goes down, then he'll take McGinty with him in revealing his part in the corruption. But then he becomes angry enough to fire a gun at McGinty inside the governor's mansion, ensuring his prompt arrest. In due course, McGinty and the boss find themselves in adjacent jail cells, from which the boss arranges an escape for both. The flashback ends with McGinty providing for his wife and her children by telling her by the phone about money he has hidden in a safe deposit box. Okay. And then the film ends with another bar scene. I'm not going to spoil it. But anyways. Credited as McGinty and the boss, Donlevy and Taramoff reprised their roles in Sturges' 1944 comedy, The Miracle of Morgan's Creek, which takes place during McGinty's term as governor. I guess during the 30s? I don't know. This was the first film directed by Preston Sturges, and in it he used many of the actors who became part of his unofficial stock company, troupe of character actors within the studio system. Appearing in McGinty are George Anderson, Jimmy Conlon, William Demarest, Byron Folger, Harry Hayden, Esther Howard, Arthur Hoyt, George Melford, Charles R. Moore, Frank Moran, Emery Parnell, Victor Potel, Dewey Robinson, Harry Rosenthal, and Robert Warwick. This was the third film written by Preston Sturges that William Demarest appeared in, after Diamond Jim and Easy Living, neither of which I've seen, and he would go on to do 7 others. Joanne Sayers was originally scheduled to play Catherine McGinty, and she was borrowed from MGM, but she was not found to be satisfactory, and she was replaced. Poor Joanne Sayers could get a job. Tamarov's malaprop-laced performance inspired the cartoon character Boris Bedenoff on the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. Oh, no. Which was, not coincidentally, written by a bunch of leftist kooks. Sturges used Tamarov's character to skewer one of Hollywood's horriest practices when he repeatedly pleads, "Don't make me say anything twice, will you?" Heydt had starred in the Broadway production of Sturges' first big success, Strictly Dishonorable. Okay. The Great McGinty had numerous working titles: A Story of a Man, The Vagrant, The Mantle of Dignity, The Biography of a Bum, and Down Went McGinty, which was used for the film's first release in the UK. Sturges had written the original story, The Story of a Man, in 1933 with Spencer Tracy in mind. According to film historian Kevin Brownlow, Sturges was inspired by the career of William Sulzer, who was impeached, and he was removed from office as governor of New York. Never heard of him, nor do I care about him. After trying to sell the story to Universal in 1935 and the Saturday Evening Post in 1938 under the title Biography of a Bum, Sturges finally sold it to Paramount on August 19, 1939 for $10 on the condition that he be allowed to direct it. Paramount agreed, and they provided Sturges a budget of $350,000, a 3-week shooting schedule. Wow, that's kind of a low-budget film, and inexpensive stars to work with. Production on the film was delayed to allow Akim Tamaroff to do The Way of All Flesh, another film that I'd never seen. But it began on December 15th, 1939. Sturges contracted pneumonia during filming, and he required a nurse to attend to him on the set. He's spreading pneumonia around the set. Production stopped on January 25th, 1940, with 1 day shooting left to do, which was accomplished on April 15th, after the first cut of the film had already been made. The Great McGinty premiered in New York City on August 15th, 1940, and it was generally released on August 23rd. The movie was not a large hit, but it was profitable. It was released on video in the U.S. on April 7th, 1988, and it was re-released on June 30th, 1993. Brian Donlevy appeared in Philip Morris Playhouse radio adaptation January 23rd, 1942, on the CBS radio network. That's pretty cool. They advertised cigarettes back in the 40s on the radio. The August 27th, 1945 episode of the Screen Guild Theater, and in the April 20th, 1946 episode of Academy Award Theater. It was also adopted to the October 12th, 1947 episode of the Ford Theater, and a May 11th, 1952 Screen Guild Theater starring Broderick Crawford. Oh, we like Broderick Crawford. he would have been a better McGinty, Broderick Crawford. Donlevy is kind of a unknown actor. Donlevy also appeared in a television adaptation on Lux Video Theater, broadcast on April 28, 1955, with Thomas Gomez and Jesse White. The director was Earl Eby, and Preston Sturges' screenplay was adopted by S.H. Barnett. Paramount considered a remake of the film, starring Bing Crosby in 1950, and in 1954 with Bob Hope, but decided against both. Good decision. Preston Sturges won the 1940 Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay for The Great McGinty, which was named as one of the 10 best films of 1940 by both the New York Times and Film Daily. Lamestream Media! The film is recognized by American Film Institute in these lists. 2005, AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movie Quotes. The Politician. If it weren't for graft, you'd be a very low type of. Let me try this again. If it weren't for graft, you'd get a very low type of people in politics. Nominated. Okay. Why did I suffer through this? So that you, the people, don't have to watch it. I do. I say skip it, man. Let's go down the list. This is going to take me a long time again. This is going to be a 30-minute video just because Wikipedia was so long for me to read. Shh. Don't tell anyone. Man, I had to go to the library just to print out a dang direct deposit form today. FedEx was closed. My only choice was the library, which opened at 10. So I made him wait an hour before we went to Starbucks and sat there for about 45 minutes. No, about 30 minutes. Then I drove to the library. Then I drove here. It took about 30 minutes to get here. Not bad from Belmont. All right, Frogtown 2, Return to Frogtown. The Wasp Woman, 1959. Jack London, 1943. The Monster of Pedrius Blancas, 1959. The Crawling Hand, 1963. Invasion of the Animal People, 1959. The Jungle, 1952. One Body Too Many, 1944. Blood Warriors, 1993. Screaming Tiger, 1973. The Wild World of Batwoman, 1966. Queen of the Amazons, 1947. Hell Up in Harlem, 1973. Snow Beast, 1977. Platoon Leader, 1988. The Case of the Reluctant Carpenter, TV episode 21. 1955. Mercenary Fighters, 1988. The Buckskin Lady, 1957. Stormcatcher, 1999. The Taking of Beverly Hills, 1991. The Manster, 1959. Bedside Manor, a.k.a. Her Favorite Patient, 1945. Dark Mountain, 1944. So it's been a crazy 3 days. I'm scrolling down again. Sorry, there's something wrong with my list. It doesn't have the movie names listed. I have to click on it and then go back and scroll down. It's not a good thing, but bear with me. All right. The Crater Lake Monster, 1977. Giant Spider Invasion. Stick, 1985. This one is. The Forest, 1982. I've done enough times, you think I'd have it memorized. Here we go. Next up is It, the remake from 2017. After I take my little nappy poo, cook some lunch for my son, and all that good stuff. Okay, Phantom from Space, 1953. The Dungeon of Horror, 1962. The Amazing Mixture X, 1948. Damnation Alley, 1977. The Most Dangerous Game, 1938. Hang on. Shadow Warriors 2, Assault on Death Mountain, 1999. Law of the Jungle, 1942. Blake of Scotland Yard, 1937. Kansas City Confidential, 1952. The White Cannibal Queen, 1980. Windjammer, 1937. Swamp Fire, 1946. Police Story 4. Blood Ring, 1991. Hostile Country, 1950. Rotor, The Wrong Road, 1937. You Bet Your Life. Identity Unknown, 1945. And that's the end of my list. No HD XYZ this morning. What happened? Oh, my son got a bloody nose for no apparent reason. And and his mother's trying to dictate to me how I spend my timeshare with him. She wants him to walk around because that will help him sleep tonight. I think I'll just give him 4 ashwagandha pills and that'll do the trick. Technically, we walked from my car to the garage, so we walked around 33rd Avenue in San Francisco. So I got 2 jobs. I killed one of my, I killed actually 2 of my goals. I hit my 2021 financial goal on Friday. Only 7 months late, but needless to say, I've got a lot of catching up to do during the next 5 or 6 months. I've got to find a way to save up 10 grand. I have a feeling I'm going to work like 9.5 times 5 plus I'm going to work 83 and a half hours. No more than that. Yeah, 83 and a half hours. So it's going to be crazy. I'm not going to get much sleep. I'll try to watch these on my breaks, okay? The stuff. Sorry, it's a little got a little wet in my bag. I spilled my giant bottle of water. I've been drinking a lot of water while I'm driving these while I'm driving these big grocery vans, now I'm going to be driving a huge bus. Colma, South San Francisco, and San Francisco. So I keep this huge water bottle. It's like a gallon of water, and I'll drink it over the course of 5 hours or so. And just makes me want to find a place to go pee in between stops. Sometimes I'm fortunate enough to find a porta potty that doesn't have a padlock on it. Other times I just go in some parking lot or something, whatever I can find that has a little bit of privacy, or some ditch or something. Anyways, I took Adrian's advice, and I'm not going to do it at school, even though the schools are closed right now. All right. So that's it. The end of my review. What a piece of, you know what this film is. Horrible torture. Avoid at all costs. Laters.